I've lived in Staithes all my life, and I've fished out at Staithes nearly all my life. My family have been here since the early 60s and originally traced all the way back, and nearly all were fishing or fishing related.
Straight up fishing when I left school, and that's all I've done until I had to finish. I used to go and help other people. If they were doing the lines, you would maybe go do what you could to help them. Long lines which were baited with mussels and limpets, they were all to get out of the shells like. More help made light work.
Go from overfishing, which is long line fishing, from February through to June, came ashore, re-rigged, and then went to the herring fishing and finished up in Yarmouth in late October into November. Then they used to come home, lay the yolls up, what we call the yolls, they call them the big boats, and that's where Staithes was made, the money was made out of the yolls. And then come back and work in the cobbles over the winter till the following February. And the cobbles at that time were just a standby for when the yolls finished in the winter until they started again in the spring.
My granddad's cobble, they called it Sea Lover. The boat that me and my dad had, we called that one Seaton Rose. Well, my granddad, it'd be same as what we're doing. Shellfish, crabs and lobsters. And then in the winter time, long line fishing, cod and haddock or whiting. Then it comes that was trammel and gill nets, which you used to catch cod.
The women doing a lot of the fishing, skeins and, doing the lines and everything, they were all involved with that.
I think the women, to me, worked harder than the men. They got up on the morning with the men and they used to help them to carry the lines down to the cobbles and then come back and then start to skein the mussels. That's taking the flesh out of the mussels, all ready for baiting the lines.
Traditionally, till about the 70s, the women had bonnets. The way they're designed is because the women used to help with the fishing. The men would go in the boats, but it was the women that would carry the fish baskets, for example, and they would put the fish baskets on their heads to carry them in. They would wear these bonnets day in, day out, and the design of them actually is very practical, like pretty rough along the front and a bow at the back. It's all designed to protect their face, their neck from the elements, from the water when they were carrying the baskets. So it's actually a very practical piece of headwear.
Women were not good look at sea. We weren't allowed to go fishing. We never went out. My brother always used to go and it was like, oh, come on, let us go. And it was like, nah. But then my Uncle James one day said, come on, let's take lasses. And he took all lasses that wanted to go and we went off and just had a little bit of a daft fishing competition. My dad, if you got a fish, he always had to bring it back up for you because he didn't think we could manage.
You would go and help others if they'd helped you out. If you'd been broke down and they took you to sea for the day, then you would go and help them to get their work done. Proper community spirit, yeah.
The lifeboat is the community of the village. The women used to launch the lifeboat and recover it, not using tractors or anything. They used to pull them down, and community like here is that you don't have a lot of people for the lifeboat, then that would be a major part of their response to it.
When I was young, the lifeboat was stationed at Runswick Bay because once the rowing lifeboats had been superseded by motor lifeboats, the Staithes station was closed, but the men from Staithes could go by car over to Runswick and crew there. So as long as I can remember, I was going over to Runswick with my father, and one of his older brothers was on the crew and then became coxswain, and then my father became coxswain there. So I was going off on the big lifeboat when it was a practice or lifeboat weekends, being a very early age, certainly before I was at school. So it was a big treat for me to go through with him, polish the brass on the old lifeboats.
Listening to the maroons go off, you could hear the whoosh, and even before the bang, Dad was up, down the stairs and out the door. As a kid, you sort of, like my family do now, you go and you're waiting for him to come back. I realise now, being on the lifeboat, what actually you put your family through. You know, the worry of what's happened, what they're going for, how long they're going to be.
I'm trainee crew. I signed up at 17, as did my twin sister. We saw my dad going off often when we were younger, and among other things that inspired me to sign up. And so far I've been a part of the crew for 2 years.
Dad on the crew is a really big part of why we joined. Just growing up around the sea, you learn the dangers of the sea and how much you should respect it. I mean, I love the sea, it's my favourite place, but there's that side that other people might not be aware of, or people get caught off the guard, and just that thing of just wanting to help people when you know how dangerous the sea can be. To go out there in the sea in a rowing boat with just a wooden cork life jacket, without all the equipment that we've got today, it's just incredible that they were willing to go out there in the middle of the night in the old lifeboats to try and rescue people.
My granddad, he lost his life in 1957. He entered the sea just round the corner from the Con Lobster to try to save some visitors that was here. They'd gone in swimming, anyhow they got one out, and then he'd gone to try and get another one, and he didn't. He lost his life. There's a memorial in the High Street, a plaque, the 27th of August 1957. Doing a lot of fishing going on from here. 2 full-time boats now that's into shellfish, and then there's 2 pleasure boats that take trips and fishing parties, and after that there's about maybe 10 or a dozen small boats which just goes out recreational fishing, that's it. You're better off with a few more going because one's looking out for the other then. If anything goes wrong, there's somebody else there.
Here, you have to wait till the boat floats and then you can go out. You can be out as long as you want, as short as you want. You know, a lovely day, there's nothing better than going sitting out there and just fishing, whether you catch anything or not.
No, I aren't fishing now. I've come ashore now. I just make new gear and repair the gear for my son, and it was a job come a hobby, and there isn't a lot can say that. When I got up on the morning, I looked forward to going. I never got up and thought, oh, it's work. I got up and I looked forward to going to sea.